Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Denise and today we're going to be taking a look at what I have growing inside of my IKEA greenhouse. So the greenhouse itself is a decent size. You could definitely get a large plant in the middle there, as well as there's enough room to put a lot of little things. That's definitely what I use it for, so I am happy with that. The top of the greenhouse made of plastic, the same as the front. So it's not going to break, which is excellent. I guess you could still break it, but it's a lot harder to break than glass. And a thing I did notice that I would like to point out, when you use a mister to mist your plants, if that's what you're doing, it will create a mineral deposit on the plastic, and that is actually a little bit difficult to get off, and it's also kind of annoying because you can't see your plants. So a trick to get around that, instead of misting, is to use a tray of water in the bottom. And yeah, back to the features. So both of these sides open, and you can choose to put it all the way down. That is my air conditioner bucket. It's kind of gross. So you can open it up all the way if you wanted, or they include this metal bar there, and this is gonna be hard to do. Yay, I did it. Okay, so you can put one side up like that for partial ventilation. That is how I have it during the day most often. I start to get some sun that comes in from the window, so I have to modify it so it just doesn't get too hot and the plants don't get scorched. During the winter time, I would probably just keep it all the way closed. So it gives you many options in how you use the top and how you get that airflow in there. Another great feature is the bottom, which is made of I'm assuming steel of some sort, metal, is so easy to clean. Like you can even just rinse it and the thing will look clean. So if you're worried about the white sort of looking dirty and that sort of thing, nope, it cleans like a breeze. And this whole part just lifts right off. So if one day you wanted to not have a greenhouse effect at all, you could technically just take off that whole top and let your plants air out. As far as assembly is concerned, it is very easy. I would just do it over your bed or your carpet. That way, just in case you don't break anything. I mean, it's not glass. Be careful too when inserting the plastic that you don't scratch it. It is very susceptible to scratches. So at first, I believe there is a covering on it, and I actually scratched the plastic in the process of peeling off the covering. So just a small thing to watch out for. So what I'm going to do is actually just take off this whole top part, and then I will show you the different types of plants that I have growing in here right now. The reason I set up this greenhouse in the first place is because I had this begonia here. Yes, I know it is looking pretty bad. It was my first time trying to grow begonias, so I had an idea that my my microclimate would be suitable, but I guess not. It was not thriving, and after doing everything I could outside of a greenhouse, I decided to put it in the greenhouse. So let's just talk about that first. It is a very sad looking Rex begonia. What I want to point out is the new growth here. It is taking forever, but there are some leaves that have not died. For a while, it was just everything was dying. So there was a big turnaround. Unfortunately, in my efforts to get rid of fungus gnats, I added mosquito bits. These plants were one of the few plants that I had not added mosquito bits to. And when I did that, even though I used distilled water, it did not react well. And some of the really small leaves have now died. And that's the first time in the last, I'd say, month and a half, 2 months, maybe 2 months now, that it's been in here that it has lost leaves. So other than that, it seems to have done the trick, and the begonia has made a turnaround, because leaves making it into, not adulthood, but leaves growing is much better than leaves dying. So I'm hoping that this plant will live for me. That being said, now I know this should be my only begonia. Moving on to plants that I do have do amazing for me in my home. These are 2 cuttings. They are both a peperomia, and I'm just going to show you the roots. They have been in here for 2.5 weeks. As you can see, the additional humidity of the greenhouse has sped up the root production on the peperomia, I would say about 3 times as fast. I have rooted many peperomia outside of a greenhouse and it is not this fast. When I did it in the spring, some roots, it actually took like a month on one of my peperomias. And this is just crazy. Here's another one here. The reason I wanted to shoot this video today is because the roots are almost growing out of the top of the container there. So I know I need to pop these peperomias up. Yep. Wow, that's growing right out of the little shot glass. So this type of peperomia is a peperomia pixie. It has loved being in here. Like, I almost want to keep it in here when I do pot it up because it's just thrived so much. It's put out a lot of new growth since being in here, even though it is in water. And yeah, it's just an absolutely beautiful plant. It has a soft, velvety texture and beautiful stems. They have little pink dots on them. So definitely peperomias are excellent candidates for any greenhouse situation. Sort of depends on the peperomia, but I honestly think almost all of them would do okay in this. This peperomia species is also putting off a lot of new growth, and it is a vining type of peperomia. It has red stems, and I took the cuttings on this one because I just wanted more of that plant. I wanted some in my bedroom. And this one was getting a little bit leggy and I wanted to maintain a nice bush shape. So that is why I did that one. And some other things in here, we have a Tradescantia zebrina. This is just some cuttings and I have them in here just to see if maybe they would do better once they were rooted in water, and then I moved them over to soil, and I was thinking maybe this would help that the pot wouldn't dry out as fast and the cuttings would start developing a healthier root system faster, and it has seemed to work. And this plant seems to be doing really well. Now, once it's fully established, I will definitely take it out of here because I find that my plants up here do much better when I let them dry out completely in between waterings. Not stay like that, but like water right away. So yeah, so that will be coming out soon. And down here, I actually have some little tiny cacti. Actually, they are Ripsalis cacti. I'll show you the mom plant in a minute. What happened was I knocked it over and sadly I broke a bunch of pieces off. It was pretty upsetting because it's a new plant this summer and it was one of my favorite plants. I'm in love with it. It's a hairy stem Ripsalis. I will put the name down below. And this was my attempt to see if I could get the little pieces to root in the greenhouse. So what I did was I actually put them in with dry soil, left them like that for probably about, I think it was around a week, and then I started to see that they looked like they were actually growing a little bit at the top. So now I spray them. I was spraying every other day a light mist, and now I'm just doing a tiny little mist once a day, and they are growing. So not only do I have tropical plants in here, but I also have cacti. I guess they're more rainforest tropical cacti, but it does work. It's doing well. And I just added, this piece is new, so that one's hasn't rooted in yet. So I've kind of not tugged on them. I haven't pulled them out or anything, but just felt how they feel in the soil. And they must have teensy tiny little roots because they're not really, they don't move around too much. So that's really good. So now I don't know when I should take them out of here. That is a question I have. I'm new to Ripsalis, so I'm not sure. This was a complete experiment, but so far it has worked. And that is it. Those are the plants that I have in here currently. I guess I'll go ahead and show you Mama here. So this is the tiny little plant. It was beautiful. This part fell off, or sorry, this part is the one part that did not fall off. And then back here, those two pieces, I'm just seeing if I can just root on the top of the soil. And I do move this plant when the sun comes in here directly. I do not keep it there. I've heard it's a little bit too much sun. This is a south-facing window. So when the sun directly shines, it comes down here. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions about this greenhouse or about any of the plants that are in here, definitely leave a comment down below, and have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.